Today we will talk about XRP, XLM, and Velo, and ties into India that also connect into how XRP, XLM, and Velo connect into BRICS countries' infrastructures. One of the large things is the Stellar and XLM and XRP had ties into India for quite a long time that have been talked about since 2016. And it appears as if there is more in the works around a BRICS pay platform that involve Ripple and Stellar partners along with NIAM, which sounds like it can have ties into Velo, as I have talked about in the past.
So that's the end of our show for today, but we have some special news for you that I would like to share with you all. I'm pleased to announce that HDFC Bank, largest private sector bank in India, has joined Ripple. They will be a key receiving partner into India, and our team is incredibly excited to work with them. Many thanks to our speakers today for taking the time to share their insights, and thank you all for joining us. We appreciate your time and participation. If you want to learn more about what we have covered, feel free to reach out to our team directly or through our website at ripple.com. From the Ripple family, again, a big thank you.
There is a BRICSPay.com, calls out all of the ties into BRICS countries and the different institutions and platforms. However, I'm not too sure about the legitimacy of this website because if you poke around a little bit, it does link into BRICS documentation, but it has some typos that just don't appear to be the most professional product. But the more important thing is talking about how heavily involved XRP and XLM are in India. There are 572 active banks connected into UPI. Here are the top 30, and they are almost entirely Ripple clients and partners. And to involve Stellar here, Hundi X Labs had integrated with Stellar and the Indonesian rupiah in order to make cross-border payments more efficient. And it also talks about point-of-sale devices, which tie back into an Indian CBDC that can function offline. And we've got some more infrastructure ties into Stellar and Velo here that are referring to Southeast Asia because Starlink is now in Indonesia. And with how heavily Velo is involved in Southeast Asia, China, and India, it is one more point to connect into how Velo is trying to become a decentralized settlement bank in these kinds of areas that might not have access to that kind of infrastructure. And IC Bank, who is a Ripple partner and who is involved in the UPI with the BIS, is talking about QR code transfers without having a bank account at a traditional bank, which ties into what Velo is doing right now with their Orbit app. And HDFC is also using a QR code ID to perform cross-border payments. And you also have Yes Bank, who is working with QR code IDs too. The BIS is basing the Unified Ledger largely on UPI India and Ripple partner Axis Bank. And that is to concentrate on having a simple ID without any bank account acquired and involves payment platforms such as Amazon Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay, and WhatsApp. The BIS has talked about how the Unified Ledger will be heavily influenced by India's UPI. And with all of the connections to Ripple, it sounds as if it might be close to, if not the exact same as Ripple's ILP. And one more interesting connection to Ripple and Indonesia here is the implementation of blockchain technology in electronic voting applications. And to begin to talk more about the connections to Velo here, LightNet has operations in Thailand, Indonesia, and the Philippines, and concentrates on Southeast Asia. And with Indonesia being the most aggressive country in Southeast Asia in terms of de-dollarization, it really puts a unique spotlight on what Velo is doing right now and how it is connected into not only Southeast Asia, but also to BRICS countries. Velo runs on Stellar and on Binance, who just obtained registration with India's financial intelligence. Transformate, who is a LightNet partner, is already integrated in the Indian payments infrastructure. And here is an article from December of 2023 talking about how LightNet and Transformate are in a global partnership. And then we get into all of the ties with NIAM, which have heavy ties into Ripple and Stellar. And I can't pronounce that, but it is calling out involvement in cross-border payments in Indonesia. NIAM has expanded into 34 countries where they have issued cards. It's in 190 countries with over 100 currencies. It has 130 million customers, and it also has regulatory licensing. NIAM has collaborated with Stellar and BIS on Project Nexus to enhance regional payments integration in Southeast Asia, which include Thailand and Indonesia, where each of those have heavy ties into XRP, XLM, and Velo. But it is not only about XRP, XLM, and Velo and their institutional ties. It's also about connections into enterprises, which are pretty much institutions at this point. And XRP, XLM, and Velo all have connections into Visa, who is also connected into NIAM, which once again connects all of them. And here it is specifically talking about creating cards with digital wallets in the UAE. And with all of Stellar's ties into Australia and New Zealand, and how NIAM is also concentrating on Southeast Asia, and how a lot of the institutional platforms and projects have been working to connect each of those regions, it's not hard to speculate that the involvement of Stellar in Velo is just another part of the plan that Velo has and its connections into BRICS and other countries.